Yes, we are live now. I'll just share the link. I've just shared the link with you on your Instagram. I'm just trying to share the link with everyone. So let's wait for our viewers to join in for a couple of more minutes. So what time does your school usually finish?
We don't have a specific time. The lights out is at 9:30. So our classes can go up till night, 8:15.
So do you have any more classes after this forum?
No, ma'am. I think that this forum is with time for us to head back to our dorm and then it's light off.
Oh, okay. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes so that we have more viewers to join us, because we just shared the link right now. So currently we have about 26 viewers. Relax, guys. Did y'all have your dinner?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm. What do you normally get for dinner?
Sir,
What do you usually get for dinner?
potato.
Potato. I hope it's not the same style every day.
Itchy.
Oh wait, I forgot to send the link to your teacher. Oh, we have a viewer all the way from Kuwait. Vikram Gazmirla. Are you Bhutanese? Vikram? Hi, Gelwang. Gelwang Benjur just said hi. He is one of the youngest members of Bhutan Tech Force Group Gemini, the one who featured in the last Space Forum. So I think currently he's in grade 9 and he's one of the youngest members, but very enthusiastic about robotics. So Gelwang says hi, everyone. Let's say hi.
Hi, yellow.
Gelwang, yeah. We have another comment. Dorji Dorji. Hi, Dorji Dorji. And we have one more viewer, Ugen Dendup. He's also a member of, he's the founder of Bhutan Tech Force. So he also joins us and he's saying that he's watching from Thimphu. So hi Ugen, thanks for joining us. Oh, we have someone all the way from Los Angeles. So let's say hi. Okay, anyway, I think now we are on time for the October series of the spaceforum.bt. So welcome everyone, whoever is watching us live on Facebook, on Bhutan Space Week's Facebook page. Before we begin, I would like to take a short time to introduce about the Space Forum and also about myself. So to begin with, my name is Zisha Choden and I work as a space engineer with the Department of IT and Telecom, Ministry of Information and Communications. And I'm your host for the Bhutan Space Forum.bt. We started the Space Forum as an initiative to commemorate the launch anniversary of Bhutan 1. And I'm sure by now all of you know that Bhutan 1 is the first satellite of our country, which was launched on 29th of June in 2018. So that is why we always have the Space Forum on the 29th of every month. So we started in June this year, and so far we have been continuously conducting the Space Forum every month. So for the October series of the Space Forum, I am pleased to introduce you to a group of very interesting and talented young people who are currently students at the Royal Academy in Paro, Panoptes. And without further ado, I would like to hand over the camera to the team who is here today to introduce yourself. First, you can tell us your name, your school, your hobbies, anything interesting that the viewers might like to know about you, because this is our first time meeting each other, and it would be really nice to know all of you before we get into the technical details of the Panoptes telescope. Oh, by the way, the topic for the forum today is Panoptes Telescope. You might be wondering what it is all about. So today we are going to find out about the Panoptes Telescope, what it is doing in Bhutan, and what has been going on so far. And you can ask all the questions in the comment section. We will try to take all of your questions in the time that we have. So, yeah, let's start with the introduction first. So, over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sugenji Mirandal and I currently study at the Royal Academy in grade 11 and I am interested in programming and I also like doing astrophotography and I'm also part of the team who is responsible for operating the Panoptes unit, which is Unit 18.
Thank you again.
Hello everyone, my name is Somai Tamang and I study in the Royal Academy in grade 11. I came from a very remote village in Sarang and that time I wasn't exposed to many technologies, but once I joined the academy, I was exposed to many technologies and I slowly developed interest into it. So therefore, I'm really much fan of the stars, and I really like to explore more about it.
Thank you, Sonam. That's very nice to hear, and especially you getting interested in technology after coming to know about these different technologies is something I think all of us have experienced in our lives, because we all come from very humble backgrounds, and every day we encounter new people, new technologies, and we get different exposures. So thank you for sharing that you're interested in technology with us. And now over to the last participant for the forum today from the Royal Academy.
Hi everyone, I'm Doji, and I'm currently studying in the 11th grade at the Royal Academy. So I'm also interested in photography, whereby I like taking photos, mostly of the night skies. And what interests me the most is I actually like mathematics and architecture.
So that's very unique to hear, Tawang, because for most of the people, mathematics seems to be a no subject, and everybody, I'm sure in their heart they will say they hate mathematics, but it's very heartwarming to hear that we have you who loves mathematics, and that's very nice to know. So before we go into the specifics of the topic today, I just want to tell all the viewers and also our participants from Paro today that this is just a very casual conversation, okay? Usually this happens for celebrities getting interviewed for their movie promotions and things like that. But technology is a thing that is affecting everybody's life, and whether you are a creator of technology or not, all of us, we are users of technology, and it definitely helps to know a little bit about technology that is so quintessential in our day-to-day lives today. For example, even right now, our conversation is only possible because of the technology that we have today, right? Otherwise, it would be really difficult for me to talk to you all the way in Paro, and that also in a situation like the current one where we are not, advised to have so many physical meetings and things like that. So even during this time, we are able to continue with the space forum, and that too on live conversation because of technology. And I'm sure all of us, we are very grateful to technology for that. So this is just a very casual conversation, and it's also not something that I'm very, very familiar with because I was trained as an engineer, and somehow now I'm appearing like a TV host or something like that. But well, I guess if it helps to promote technology, I'm willing to do it. So I'm trying my best, and I hope everyone will be a little bit merciful on me if I make any mistakes or things like that. And now coming to the main topic of the day, which is the Panoptes Telescope. So I'm sure everyone is aware of telescopes. Maybe you have seen one in the movies or, in some kind of photo or books or things like that. But it may not be everyone's experience to have real hands-on experience with telescopes. But the team here is, in fact, very, very lucky, and you have been operating, not only operating, but installing the telescope and operating it. So can you tell us a bit about the Panoptes unit, what it is all about, and how was your experience so far?
Uh, so talking about Panoptes, so Panoptes is a citizen science project which aims in creating a worldwide network of robotic telescopes which are cost efficient. When I say cost efficient, so it costs $5,000. That's a lot for ordinary people, but it compared to rockets and compared to satellite, the budget that goes into building satellites and comparing it to building a Panoptis telescope, it is much cheaper. So that makes it cost efficient. And it is, we are aiming in creating a network so which can help us observe large fraction of sky, and it is mainly focused in observing exoplanets and star systems.
Okay, now when you talk
So,
about exoplanets and things like that, can you tell us a bit more about exoplanets? Maybe Som or Sawang can share a bit about exoplanets, because most of our viewers may not be aware of the term exoplanets.
So when we say exoplanets, we mean the planets which are outside our solar system. So actually, Panoptis is a telescope which will help us find those exoplanets.
Wow, that's a very interesting thing. So we all know that we live in the solar system, and there are currently 8 planets, 8 known planets, which are going around the sun. But the Panoptis unit is actually trying to look outside of the solar system and find other planets in MMO. So those planets are called exoplanets. Now, someone, can you tell us, are there any exoplanets that we currently know of, or if you find an exoplanet by the Panoptes unit, will it be the first one?
yeah. Um, I guess the exoplanets which were discovered from before, but if you are able to discover one with ours, it would be the first.
Mm-hmm. So we already know about exoplanets already, right? Not coming from the Panoptes, but in the world, in the universe, there are already exoplanets which have been discovered by other scientists. So we really hope the Panoptes unit in Pangbisa will be able to discover an exoplanet in the coming days. So how do you actually look out for an exoplanet? What is the mechanism? What is the method that you use?
So, as all the telescopes use light, we also use light in order to observe. And the telescope behind us, so which is a visual telescope, which is controlled manually with hands, and we use it by we observe planets and stars by just pointing to it. So whereas in Panoptis telescope, so the difference is we use camera in order to observe the sky. So we use the DSLR imaging system So we take a photo of the night sky with certain exposure. Exposure here, I mean like how long we keep the shutter open. So it's like keeping our eyes open for longer time. So if we keep our eyes open for longer time, we can see more stars. So that's the logic behind exposure. So we set exposure for certain timing, and we observe this stars. And after we take the image, we download it and we process it using some softwares which is initially building so for scientific purposes. So we can also use Photoshop in order to zoom in, and we look at the we assess the light curve, so the brightness of the star. So if there is beam of light in the star, then we can suspect that there is an exoplanet over there in that star system. That's the nutshell of the working behind Panoptes.
So basically, you're constantly looking at a piece of the sky at night, and you're trying to compare, for example, if there is a difference in the light emitted from the stars at different periods of time, and if you see that there is a shift in the light radiations, then you can suspect that there is an exoplanet there. But that is only a suspicion, right? So that was only your doubt. So how do you confirm whether it is actually an exoplanet or not?
So initially, while the project was at its pilot when it was started, so they tested out with some star system which people already know that there were exoplanets. So they observed that stars and they saw the transit. So transit is the blockage of light that a planet creates when it passes over a star.
Mm-hmm.
So using that information from the past observations with space-based telescopes, so we reassured that working of Panoptes with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for example, if this is the star, which could be the sun of that planet system, right? So, for example, this is a planet, an exoplanet. So we are observing from this end, right? From this
yes.
end. So if the planet is passing by, we will see a dim in the light. So that is called the transit, right? The transit.
Yes.
So when you observe that in the photo or the image that we take from the Panoptes unit, then you can suspect that there is an exoplanet. Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, since when did you all start observations with the Panoptes telescope at the Royal Academy?
It was actually installed there from last year only, but we are able to function, put in full function in this year only, and it's been around 2 months since we were able to actually fully function in the telescope. So for the past few months, so it was in troubleshooting mode because there were some connection issues and some hardware issues that we faced, and so we took some time in troubleshooting it and fixing it.
So what is the current status?
So it is up and running, and I'm getting it ready for observation. So I'm observing on transits of exoplanets. So that's what my research is going to be.
So how many students are actually using the Panoptes telescope for observation?
Panoptes, we are doing research, and then we have about 6 or 7 students who are trying to learn and then learn the function and then the operation of the Panoptes unit.
Mm-hmm. So, any interesting observations so far?
So, as you might have seen in the Instagram story, the Andromeda galaxy. So So actually, right now, it's not completely deployed up there. So it needs to do some tests, so polar alignment tests, in order to align the rotation of sky. So we need to do that test in order to get better quality of image, and in order to prevent from having drift in the stars. So we haven't really observed that much. So, but we took photos of Andromeda Galaxy, Mars for fun.
That's very interesting. And is any teacher or anyone helping you to figure everything out, or are you trying to do it by yourself?
So our teachers have been managing us time, creating space for us to learn more and do more. And the technical part and the knowledge part, we have been contacting with people from Hawaii and all, and learning from them and researching on ourselves and trying out with our unit.
So you mean people who actually are part of the team, right? The Panoptes team in the international level. Because
Uh,
just for the, I think, information of the viewers, I would like to mention that Panoptes units are, they're kind of like a family, right? So they're deployed in different parts of the world. And when they're put in different parts of the world, the advantage is that they are able to see different parts of the sky, because the sky is huge. And um, the Panoptis unit has, I'm not sure how much is the span, the width of the images that it can take. But anyway, so it would be really helpful to have Panoptis units all over the world so that we can constantly observe the night sky and look out for exoplanets. Now, for instance, if we find an exoplanet, um, what would be the first reaction, or what would be the first step after finding out an exoplanet? Have you thought about that?
we'll share each one of our what would our reaction be. So we'll start with Sewa. So, if you are able to make a discovery of a new exoplanet with our unit, so being a team who is actually operating the unit, I would be kind of like excited, as well as I will be glad to see the discovery. So, and also for a small country like Bhutan, which is currently like developing in terms of the technology and the space and astro part, it would be, I think it would be a great success for us.
So, yeah, Uge.
So for me, after putting such rigor and resilience and working with it, so first reaction would be I'd literally cry, because it would be a really exciting thing and a major achievement in my life. And like stargazing and astronomy has been part of me since I was young, and I liked the sky. I liked stars, observing it, and I'll go crazy observing outside my house. So I would really find it really a big achievement. And in fact, like Tom said, it would be a great achievement for our country, and a country which is at the developing stage of space journey. So it would be a huge achievement.
And I'm sure there are many viewers who are just like you, who have had this passion, even though they are not pursuing any field of technology at this point in time. They could be an artist or a singer, or a farmer, or anybody, but someone who has always had the love for watching the stars and observing the wonders of the night sky. I'm sure that would also bring a lot of joy to many such people around, not only in Bhutan but around the world as well. And what about you, Som?
If we ever discover an exoplanet, it would be a very great success for us. And when we were installing the Panoptes unit here, uh, that time I was really excited because they made the presentation saying that the Panoptes unit is actually for finding out the exoplanets, and it really caught me. And then it was always in my mind, and I always think that if we discover an exoplanet, I always think about what would be the name of the planet.
I was
So
thinking the same as well. So do you have a name in mind?
I am thinking about something related to Bhutan, something. It would be very nice if we could discover an exoplanet.
Yes, indeed. It would be a great achievement for all of us. And like Ugyen mentioned, our space program just started in 2016 when His Majesty, um, as per His Majesty's vision, inspired by His Majesty's vision, me and my friends, we were sent to build a satellite for Bhutan. But satellite technology is just one aspect of a space technology. And what you all are doing is another aspect and another field of expertise altogether, which is astrophysics and astronomy. And it is very interesting that even though we are a very young country in terms of space technology, we already have different initiatives starting in different fields of the space science and technology. So it's very interesting to see that. And now when I observe, if I understand correctly, you have the technology, the unit put in place in your school, which is already a very unique opportunity because this is the first type in Bhutan, and nobody else or other students in the country does not have this opportunity. So it is very, very special opportunity. I think it was gifted by His Majesty the King. So we are forever grateful to His Majesty the King for inspiring us so much and giving us the opportunity to try and experiment and learn. So now you have the Panoptes unit in your at your disposal, I guess. You have your hands on it. I'm sure most people will die to even see it, and to actually be experimenting with it would be a dream come true for many students all over Bhutan. So how do you see yourself in this position when you have this very, very unique opportunity to learn and discover an exoplanet?
I feel that we are very fortunate to be here because we got an opportunity to build and install the Panoptis unit, and it is indeed an encouragement for us to strive higher. And then it really motivates us, and then it encourages us more to explore more about it, and then it also encourages us to explore about the space, and then we can also be a facilitator for our friends to explore more about the space, and then we can be the person who can actually create awareness about the space.
And for me, so having a opportunity like this, I'm really privileged to be part of it because it's also a dream come true, and it's also like she mentioned, it's also an encouragement for me to try more because I remember that the word telescopes were only present in our textbooks, so we never used to get to, we never got to see a telescope physically. So now having this opportunity, it's really exciting and inspiring.
And for me, I feel very lucky to have this opportunity. And from our experience, I can say that we are utilizing the opportunity quite well because since for some time we were facing some issues with the mount of the telescope. and quite frequently we used to go there during our down times, which would be probably in the evenings, and it used to get really cold here, and the mount is made of metal, and we have to hold that mount since it was not working, and I could see my friends looking at their face. They're like freezing cold. So, but still they're doing their best to make that fully functioning. So I can say that we are actually utilizing the opportunity quite well.
That's very heartwarming to hear that all of you are very interested. In fact, I'm very envious of everyone who gets to use the telescope. I hope I can visit the school one day and actually try my hands at it. Even though I'm known as the space engineer or so, I haven't actually had the opportunity to operate the Panoptes unit. So I would love to participate one day. But at the same time, I'm sure there are many people like me who are watching us today and who are thinking, or wishing if I could use the Panoptis unit, how would it be for me? Because at the end of the day, when you hear a new technology or something that is interesting, you always want to try your hands at it. So, from your team's side or from your academy's side, because this is a very, very special, it is almost like a treasure in Bhutan because we don't have that anywhere else. It's only in your school. So, do you have any plans or programs of how to share this technology, this very special gift with other students who are interested, other people who are interested? It need not be only students, but also maybe some adults who are really interested in it. Is there an opportunity like that, or will there be an opportunity for people to access?
So for that sort of opportunity, so I can't say, I can't promise that it would be possible for them, but still they can try out. But we can spread this knowledge, and we can use the knowledge from the Panoptes in other way around. So we can the main concept behind Panoptis is astrophotography. So there might be many photographers in Bhutan and people who have camera, and even these days, as the technology has advanced, there are a lot of phones which are capable of capturing night sky. So their journey can begin from that, and they can explore more. And Panoptis is just one thing, but they can also come up with their own technology with the knowledge that we pass on. So we can use the data and our research by research to showcase and in form of infograph or in form of a poster. So we can explain then these concepts through this, and with visual resources like the image from the Panoptis. That would be one of our ideas of spreading the knowledge.
Yes, and I think it is very important, especially when we discuss about technology, because as we speak right now, um, in Bhutan, you are the experts of Panoptes Telescope, right? Because there are no other Panoptes telescopes in Bhutan, and you have had the very unique opportunity to learn about it and to experiment with it. So I feel that it is the responsibility actually of people who know about technology to come forward and share about it with others who don't know about it and who might be interested to know about it. And I guess the fact that we are having a conversation about it right now is a sign and is an effort from our part to bring technology in the forefront of our day to day conversations. Because usually, when we say technology, it is seen as a very, not really spooky, but a very difficult thing which is very difficult to understand, and then it easily gets swiped under the carpet or things like that. But if we really want to embrace technology and use it for the development of our whole country, for the betterment of our human society, then we should be very comfortable talking about it, and it should be a part of our daily conversations, just like we are having right now. You know, it shouldn't be like just kept for conferences or papers or things like that, but it should actually seep into our daily lives. And I feel that's how we will be really embracing technology and taking it forwards. Anyway, we have a couple of viewers online. So if the viewers have any questions for our speakers from the Panoptes team, please do ask in the comments section below. We will try to take all the comments and questions as much as possible. And while we are waiting for our questions or comments from viewers, what I have one question, which is how are you going to pass on this knowledge to the next generation of students? Because eventually you will graduate from the Royal Academy, right? So maybe this year, or if not this year, maybe next year. So when you do that, what is the flow of knowledge to the next generation of students?
With our school only, we are actually it's the team is not only consists of only the grade 11s, so it also has some other grades too. Like just now we are 10 and 11, but uh, 10 more people from grade the smaller grades like grade 9 and 8. So we'll be continuing with that process and we'll be training the smaller grades.
And for the information, so there is going to be three more telescopes or Panoptix Telescope which will be launched in Bhutan. So this will provide an opportunity for other Bhutanese enthusiasts to learn about the
Oh,
telescope.
that's great news. So, where are these Panoptes units going to be? And I'm curious when.
So the time I don't know about that, but of what they have planned is to launch it in one in Trashika, one in Funtuling, and one in Chilena.
That's a very interesting distribution of geographically of the Panoptes units. Now I can see we have one question from a listener, from a viewer. Karmanobu says, "Have you ever tracked our near planet like Mars using your Panoptes?"
We have tried to take image of the Mars, so as we can see right now also, so the Mars, uh, the planet itself is close to our Earth and it's very bright. So with our system, so if the it's really bright for it to be observed, but yet we can observe it with lower exposure time. So we have observed with that and taken images, and we can see that planet properly also.
So you have taken the images. Is there any possibility for you to share the images or?
Uh, So we took the image when the telescope was a bit out of the focus as part of testing part. So I don't think it would be a good image to show right now. But in future, if we have any cool images of planets like Mars or Jupiter, we'll definitely share it and we'll pass on through my mission.
Mm. But actually, even before passing it to me, I feel like it would be a really good idea if the Panoptis team can actually have like some kind of social media outlet, because even all of us, we do different jobs on our day-to-day basis, and every once in a while when we see things like that on social media, it's very interesting. And I'm sure now social media is the most widely used form of media, even in Bhutan, especially for youth. So if we can get some updates from the Panoptes once in a while, maybe of some image, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it can be just some work in progress, so it will be really interesting. That's just my personal opinion, but I'm sure your school might have some sort of social media policy or media policy, which I'm not very aware of. So that's just my personal opinion and my thought. And there is another comment. I think that's a comment. It's from Kile Wangdi. He says, I'm very curious about the project and I really wanted to see and observe sky through telescopes. So can you also come and see your telescopes? And ends with the grinning face.
Definitely.
Definitely okay. So Kile, you're most welcome, as the warm invitation has been extended by Ugen and reciprocated with a grin no smaller than yours. And Vikram Gazmir says, thank you so much for sharing your experience, guys. And, this is very interesting, and I hope the one of the exoplanets will be from the Panoptes that we have in Paungisa. But what are some of the challenges that you face? Now you have the unit, and there are humans who are actually operating it, you guys. But are there any obstacles which is stopping you from discovering an exoplanet?
So first of all, I want to thank Vikram for his comment. So there are lots of factors which act as obstacle for Panoptes observation. So one is light pollution, but that's not a big issue right now in Bhutan. But it's the general obstacle for Panoptes unit because
Can you explain about light pollution a bit so that we don't lose our viewers?
So light pollution happens when the light from the city or down, so which is very bright, so it lights up the skies and it makes it hard for us to see the stars because of the light. So you can do experiment with that, like you stand near a light which between the light and you just observe the sky, you would find it hard to observe stars. So you might not see a lot of stars because of the brightness of light.
So basically, if you have too much light around you, then it makes it harder for your eyes to recognize the stars, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like as the cameras act similar with our eyes, so it is hard for cameras to see stars if there is light pollution. So that's one of the general obstacles that a Panoptes unit faces. And there are, because the project is at its development, so things are changing as time passes on. So we have some hardware changes. So while doing that, there are a lot of technical problems in it. So that provides us with we have to problems which need to be troubleshooted, and that takes up quite a time. So and that limits us from observing. But one of the major factor is that the weather is not very consistent, because from my personal experience this year, so I thought October sky will be very clear, So, but it seemed to be cloudy, and the moment I was trying to do some tests, then the clouds moved to the direction where I was pointing the telescope. So, weather has been one of the obstacles which we have
So
faced.
the observation is dependent on the weather, remember? So if
Yes.
you need a clear sky to do that. So how about in the winter? Winter skies would
Uh,
usually be clearer, right?
the November sky, so the sky which we are approaching to is, I think, one of the best sky for observation, like for Panoptes, because the sky is very clear and the percentage of the cloud that we see is very little compared to that we see while in the monsoon or in the springtime.
Mhm. Thank you. And if our viewers have any more questions, you can keep posting them. Meanwhile, I'm going to. I'm getting a lot of questions myself as well. So, do you have to keep the Panoptis unit turned on for continuously, or do you observe in short intervals, or how does it work?
The power supply is like turned on for continuously, but the pen optics itself, it has been coded in such a way that it will turn up and gauge the star during the night time, and it will the mount will automatically face downwards during the daytime, because there is high chances that the lenses would get burnt with the sunlight, and also it has a sensor whereby it can sense the cloud and humidity. So if it says that there is dark clouds and the humidity is quite high, whereby there is high possibilities that it will rain, then it won't turn up. So it will be facing down.
Mm. So, for example, in a day, how many minutes of observation do you get?
So
Useful observation.
that will depend on our own scheduling. So we have that target setting file where we put in what targets we want to observe. So normally for an exoplanet, it would take up to 3 to 5 hours of observation, but for stars, it will take 10 minutes or so. So it depends on the target you are observing and how much targets you want to observe.
Wow, that's a lot of information about the Panoptes, and this leaves me even more excited to actually see the unit in real and um, see how it works. So I really hope I will be able to experiment with it one day. There is another comment. You may also face some problems with light pollution in the future because SpaceX is launching about 42,000 constellations of Starlink satellites. So, do you have any contingency plan to tackle those problems? So basically, the question is about light pollution in the future. Of course, it is not a major factor for now, but it is a major issue in most of the developed cities around the world. And as far as I know, there is also an organization called the Dark Sky Association, which the International Dark Sky Association, which actually helps to preserve the dark skies, because all over the world, so many human settlements are coming in with a lot of light, and with that comes a lot of light pollution. And I'm sure even in the near future, Bhutan will also might. I mean, we can never say never. So, what is your opinion about that?
So we don't really have a contagious plan, but uh, the option would be to change the location. But when I see that, so we all need to cooperate. So we need to cooperate in the work we do. So astronomy is not just about observing the night skies. Even artists are involved in astronomy. Even urban planners can be involved in uh, astronomy. So we can all work together. So like always, like His Majesty always says about tendril, the concept of tendril. So where we depend on each other. So we need to work together in order to achieve. So we need in order to make things best out of it. So it all depends on the work we do and how we depend on each other.
So I feel in Karma Nova's question there is another question which is also there that is about SpaceX and companies like SpaceX launching a huge number of satellites in constellations. So, for example, SpaceX is talking about, let's say, 42,000 constellations, and already in the international fora, there are discussions about how this will affect the astronomy, the field of astronomy, because for astronomers, astronomy, you have to have a telescope pointing at the sky, and you need long hours of observation in order to find some stars or anything, some objects. So the situation right now is that if SpaceX and companies like them launch a huge number of satellites, then it will constantly pass around the Earth, right? So, for example, if you have a telescope pointing upwards, then you have so many satellites passing in very frequent intervals, so that disrupts the line of observation. So, what do you think about that?
That's really a great question. So, and this is what we all need to discuss about, and it's really a very interesting topic of discussion. So, which I will also introduce, which I will also pass on to pass on this question to the official team. So I'll also discuss about that. But in my personal opinion, I also think that will change the way astronomy functions and the impact that it has on astronomy. Because like as the satellite passes, there will be trails that will be like because our telescope is open for some time. So as the satellite passes, there will be some sort of line which might distort the way we perceive the brightness or light from the star. So this might be of an impact to astronomy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I feel. But um, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks, Karma, for the very insightful question. And I think it has been taken very well by the team as well. So it's not an issue that is only affecting Bhutan. I guess it affects the whole of the astronomy. And I'm sure if the team goes out there and tries to look into this issue, there is already a whole lot of debate going on about it. With SpaceX and some very known, well-known astronomers or institutes who are actually observatories for foreign objects. So that will be another area of research and study. So yeah, that's interesting. Um, we have a question from Vikram who says, wanted to know about space debris, especially the parts of the previously launched spacecrafts which just floating around the space. Do you guys find such things? If you find, how bad it is? So the question is, through the Panoptes unit, have you observed any foreign objects which are not recognizable or which could possibly be space debris? So just to introduce the topic of space debris, it's actually space debris could be broken parts of previous rockets or satellites or things like that, which have not been taken down, and it is just floating around or orbiting around in space. So it does not serve any purpose. However, if it encounters with some of our satellites or the International Space Station or things like that, it could actually be a, a, a grave source of concern because it could actually hit and create a collision, which will in fact create an explosion, and it will result in even more space debris in space. So, has the team observed any such things through your unit?
With our unit, since we have not taken lots of pictures with it. We didn't capture any of space debris, but and it's also like quite hard to identify whether it's like any other asteroids or meteor or anything like that. Because me and Ugen recently we were actually up there one of night and we took photos with our phones. So with our phones we were able to capture something that actually moved on, which in the layman term we call this shooting star. So we don't know whether it's a debris or not, but with our phone we were able to capture, and with the Panoptes unit, if you are able to capture such things, it won't be like the ones that we can actually capture in with the low exposure photos. So it won't be something that's like one thing, but it would be, since it's moving, it would be something in line. So it would be quite hard for us to also identify whether it's a space debris or not. But with our unit still now we
And until and unless that space debris has a light source, or if the light gets reflected from it, it wouldn't really affect the observation, and
Mhm.
it will be really small, and because they are broken in pieces, so it would be very hard for us to observe.
Yes. Most of the space debris are quite small. In fact, there was a very famous collision of the International Space Station where astronauts, when they went to uh, check the International Space Station for maintenance, they found that there was a dent in the outer surface of the International Space Station, and it was actually caused by a small flake of paint which fell off the outer surface of a rocket which was previously used. It was a very, 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 very small, tiny particle of flake, paint flake, but it was traveling at a very high velocity. So when it actually hit the International Space Station, it created a dent. But although there was not a very big damage, it just reminds us of the dangers of space debris. Anyway, we are quite over time now. It it's quite amazing to see that I didn't really know how the past hour went by. It went by very, very quickly in light speed. Anyway, thank you so much, team. And I think we have very good feedback from our viewers, and we got some really, really interesting and substantial questions about space debris, about the unit itself, and so many other things. So I hope, I mean, at least for me, it was very educational, and I learned a lot about the Panoptis unit, even though I heard about it last year. So talking to you guys, it really helped me to learn a lot. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope and pray that we have an exoplanet soon. But even if we don't have it, the it's just amazing to see that you are going through this process of installing the unit, troubleshooting, operating it on a daily basis, and trying to think outside of this world, which is basically outside of the Earth and of the universe. So, talking about exoplanets and things like that, and that is very amazing. I hope to have more conversations like this in the coming forums as well. Just for the viewers, this is the end of our current session for the month of October. For the month of November, we will again resume on the 29th of November, and we will be bringing to you another set of interesting topics. So do stay tuned, and don't forget to like and share our Bhutan Space Week's Facebook and Instagram page, where we post all the updates. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to the participants, the team from the Royal Academy. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the teachers, the director, Mr. Arun Kapoor, who himself commented on this video. So thank you so much for your support. It has been so encouraging, and we hope to have more discoveries from the Panoptes unit from the Royal Academy soon. So thank you, everyone, and good night. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Stay safe. I'm ending the video now.